The progression from the initial preliminary task to the final edit of my opening sequence is very noticeable. The first aspect that has improved since the first task is the storyboard. They are basic, not detailed, and pictured little consideration for the cinematography and techniques, as only a few varying shot types are demonstrated. I learned the importance of the pre-production process, as there needs to be a good resemblance between the beginning drawings and the final moving pictures. As a result, for my opening sequence, I combined my research and my audience feedback to produce a developed storyboard that shows shot type, angles, props, and locations. The attention to detail that is present in my storyboard is shown, as it is very similar to the final outcome. The preliminary task was essential in developing my ability of the continuity techniques. I applied the techniques to convey a degree of similitude in both productions. Continuity editing is the predominant style of film editing and the production process of filmmaking in narrative films. The purpose of continuity is to smooth over inherent shots in the editing process and to establish a logical coherence between them. Match on action occurs when an action that begins in one shot is continued or completed in the next. The example of opening a door and walking across the road explicitly implies continuous action from shot to shot, which is demonstrated in my preliminary task. To improve this, I had to ensure that every individual match on action is continuous. For example, when the female protagonist crosses the road and thus creates a sense of real-time and movement for the audience, this was a real priority with my chosen genre, as I was portraying a serious issue, so I didn't want to come across as undermining the problem. An eyeline match occurs when a character looks in a particular direction and the film cuts to the object at which he or she is looking. This technique demonstrates my understanding in the preliminary task, as it is shown when the woman is looking at her watch. For my opening sequence, I wanted to achieve a dramatic match because it would enhance the amount of enigma codes from the audience. For instance, when the female protagonist looks up at the male character, the audience may wonder why she's looking at him like that, which gets the audience hooked even further. In a few shots, the lead character looks off into the distance, and in the next, it is revealed. Shot reverse shot is a film technique where one character is shown looking at another character, and then the other character is shown looking back at the first character. The conversation in my opening sequence is a perfect opportunity for me to exhibit the shot reverse shot. This technique is significant to the audience in understanding the plot, as the type of shots reveal the character's reactions to the words. Including this ensured that I demonstrated the 180-degree rule. In filmmaking, the 180-degree rule is a basic guideline regarding the on-screen spatial relationship between a character and another character or object within a scene. Throughout the conversation, the female is on the right and the male is on the left. This rule is important to adhere to because if broken, it could thoroughly confuse the viewer and resulting in loss of interest. However, all these editing techniques were all refined in Final Cut. After the preliminary task, I have more experience with the software, which lets me pay more attention to detail. Also, the use of more professional equipment allowed me to improve the quality of the footage from the preliminary task to the opening sequence. Having a tripod made many of the shots that had a lot of movement in them a lot smoother. For example, when the girl is walking across the street, it is a lot better quality compared to the movement in my preliminary task.